Have you ever set financial goals and then felt like you didn't have the willpower to actually make them come true? My name is Brie Sodano. I'm a personal finance expert and the founder of From Sheep to Shark. I invented the invisible system to stop bleeding money and start stacking cash. And I run a 6-month money coaching program called Shark School where I help smart, awesome, motivated women match their money goals to their life goals. And then we execute a plan. Okay. And so here's why this happens. When you set financial goals in a vacuum, they're very unsexy to achieve. If I say, oh, I want to have $10,000 in my bank account, but I don't have anything super good and super juicy to latch on to, like mentally, then I have to use a real lot of willpower to sacrifice all the lattes and all this stuff to actually make it happen. So when you're setting financial goals, what I want you to understand is there's an ends goal, there are ends goals and means goals. And money is always, always, always a means goal. Money is never the end goal. It's what you're going to get with the money. Having money with no purpose, what's the point? Were you going to leave it to your heirs, right? Okay. So here's the deal. The first thing that you want to do when you are setting your financial goals is you need to tie them to the rest of your real life. So imagine your life a year or 3 years or 5 years from now, right? And this is where you want to flesh out, what do you want your life to look like? Where do you want to be living? What do you want to be doing for work? Who do you want to be hanging out with? What do your vacations and your adventures look like? What does your physical space look like? And you want to get super clear about what it is that you actually want from an ends goal standpoint. So if I'm going to go from my office and drive to Florida. Florida is the ends goal. How I'm going to get there is the means goal, whether or not I'm taking my car, whether or not I'm taking a plane, a train, my husband's car, right? So this is where people get mixed up around money. They, instead of setting an end goal, they're like gas station to gas station, and they never get anywhere, right? So you want to flesh out what you actually want your life to look like. And you could do it on a piece of paper. You could talk through it, however it is. I would suggest doing it on a piece of paper, because then second step is you want to price those things out. So if you want a new kitchen, well, how much does that cost? If you want a new car, or if you want to cut back your living expenses, you want to downsize, you want to see what that's going to do to your finances. And so this puts these big ideas that seem super crazy down on paper, and then you can break them down into little bite-sized pieces, right? And so from there, so once you know what you want, you know the end goal, and you know how much means it takes to get there, then you have two options. Now, some of you have enough money already, and that money is just going someplace else, right? So sometimes I see clients, when I say bleed, I mean the money is going towards something that they don't really want, they don't really care about. You know, that's kind of what's going on. So for some of you guys, you can look at the money that's already coming in and then decide, all right, well, I want to redirect some of my current money toward these important goals, and then you can achieve them. For some of you, your goals may be way outside of the realm of what's going on in your life financially, and you may need a change of circumstances. You know what I mean? Like if you're making $40,000 a year, but you want a $100,000 a year lifestyle, chances are you're not going to find that money in your $40,000. You're going to need to change your circumstances to be able to get those things. And so the first thing, that if you're in the first category of people where you have the money and you just don't know where it goes, what I suggest is printing out a few months of your statements and then going through them and highlighting your bills, highlighting the food purchases, highlighting the shopping, and whatever other areas you really suspect might be where your money's going. And then count the number of transactions. And then just look and see what's reasonable and what's not. You probably want to make a best guess about what you spend first, so that way you can kind of look for any discrepancies and say, oh God, I thought I spent $200 a month shopping, but come to find out I actually spent $600 a month, because then you know where you're looking for the money, right? And then you want to evaluate whether or not these things bring you joy. Some of the money that we think we bleed is just money that we didn't think of when we were writing it down. It's not that it's a true bleed. It's not that we really don't want the Hulu membership. We just forgot it. You know what? So that's it. And if you need a change of circumstance, the thing that you want to think about is, you kind of have to go back to the drawing board and figure out, well, what are you going to do to get this money? Where do your natural talents align with what the change that you want to make in the world, align with how much money you want to make? And then you kind of want to start there and see what that looks like for you. Are you getting a job for somebody else? Are you working in your own business? Are you starting something new? And just imagine it. And the thing that's most important when you're in those imaginary states is that you literally pretend, because the prefrontal cortex, the front part of your brain, is going to just smack talk you. It's going to be like, well, that's not realistic. That's not what your degree's for, blah, 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 blah. You just have to pretend and kind of get clear about what you want, so that way you can start to know what it is and make the moves and think about it and get the plan together. Okay, so that's like the basic process. It's kind of 3 steps depending on where you are. It could be 4 steps on how to make financial goals make sense. All right? Okay, bye everyone.